Hello my friends, welcome back to my frequencies. About 6 weeks ago I did a video talking about how the coronavirus outbreak had disrupted some work that I was doing with some friends down in the south of France. This guy, the Man of Mead, who's a regular commenter on my channel, came and told me about a pandemic exercise called Event 201, which was basically, he described it as it was a 3.5 hour simulation exercise. 15 global businesses, multiple governments and health experts sent delegates to meet. Basically, they ran a simulation of what they believed would happen if an outbreak of a certain virus took place. And then from what they believed would happen, they extrapolated policies which they then take to governments and try and get these policies to be adopted, recommendations. And as the commenter Man of Mead said, it was just a coincidence that the virus chosen to run this simulation was coronavirus. The other important piece of information to note was that this exercise took place in October of 2019. So I looked it up and it's on YouTube. It's got 2.8 million views. It's on a channel called the Centre for Health Security, which isn't a massive channel, but I guess this video's got a hell of a lot of views now because a lot of people are talking about it. And it's called Event 201 Pandemic Exercise Highlights Reel. So I'll link that in the description box of this video below. And Dave Murphy, who many of you will, I'm sure, have heard of. Basically, he's put up a video, Event 202, 30th of April, which is tomorrow, 5 p.m. GMT. So he's promoting something that's happening tomorrow. I'm interested. It's only a 2-minute video, so we're just going to look at this on Dave's channel now and see what he has to say.
So the other day I came across the website for Event 201, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I think it's Johns Hopkins University. Their simulation for this global pandemic. Funny how before one of these false flags happen, they have a simulation. So it was a kind of panel simulation thing where they all discuss what they'd do when there was a global pandemic. So as a joke, I think I said, I posted on Facebook, we should have our own simulation of millions of people resisting this march towards totalitarianism and this whole coronavirus scam. So yeah, started off as a joke, but so many people kind of responded to it that I made a Facebook page for it. Even though I don't really like the idea of making a Facebook page over it, but I started a Facebook group, and now it's taken on a life of its own. So I'm going to put the group link right here. So join it if you feel like you A, want to be part of it, and B, if you feel you have something to contribute to it. Because I think what I want to do is actually have just like they did, a 3.5 hour kind of round table event where we actually discuss how we would simulate or discuss a simulation of how we would actually resist, not only the coronavirus but the agenda that's behind it. So that's all I wanted to say. Thanks a lot.
Brilliantly simple idea, and it's clear why so many people would jump on board with that and get behind it. And credit to the guy, he's set up a website for it. Again, I'll put a link for that. I've got it here. It's Event 202. But this is going to be worth listening to for the open-minded, for the people who want to know what's going on here. So go to event202.org, link below. There's a subscribe button. You hit that, and it takes you into something which looks very much like the Event 201 website. Welcome to Event 202, hosted by allegedly Dave. In October 2019, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and these other organisations held a pandemic simulation focusing on a disease outbreak. The event coincidentally simulated an outbreak of a novel convirus. I believe he's deliberately made that change to the spelling, transmitted from bats to pigs to people that eventually becomes efficiently transmissible from person to person, leading to a severe pandemic. And that's how these false flag events supposedly operate. It's just a spooky coincidence. Dave goes on to say Event 201 was essentially a focus group for engineering the worldwide false flag event and served as a dry run for the worldwide lockdown rehearsal that we are currently experiencing. For many of us, it stinks to high heaven. I think for the vast majority, you can't imagine that there's anything this dark operating in the world. And it just makes it a lot easier, a lot more comfortable to go with what the TV is telling you, what the politicians and the experts and the analysts are saying. I like to think I've got one foot in both camps. I'm trying to help people to kind of wake up, to come and have a look, at least come and consider this information. It's why I'm talking about this, because this seems like a really good idea by Dave, and it's got a lot of support from the truther community, the kind of people who follow Dave on Facebook and YouTube. They're going to run their own simulation, their own scenario. They're going to talk about a lot of interesting ideas. So this is for the open-minded, but also, like I say, for the people who aren't quite there, but are open-minded enough to come and listen and make their own decision. So last little bit. Event 202 will be a 3 to 3.5 hour live online event streamed over multiple platforms and recorded for playback over as many video sharing and podcast platforms as possible. So if you miss my video, you don't get it in time. If you miss the Event 202, you're going to be able to get it. It's going to consist of a host who will present 3 simulated scenarios consisting of a spoken narrative interspersed with simulated news reports and simulated statistics, just like the original Event 201 did, and a panel or round table of researchers who would be considered experts in what we know about 5G, the New World Order agenda, common law and the legal system, alternative health, police and army tactics, activism, off-grid living, self-sufficiency, and many other relevant fields will provide their perspective on each scenario, with the aim of formulating and crystallising viable solutions and strategies that could make each scenario feasible. Okay, in the last little paragraph, they're also talking about signing up to the Event 202 mailing list to connect you to like-minded people to build local regional activist groups, because strength in numbers will be vital. Friends, we hope you understand that if we don't do something now, then we will passively slide into dystopian future far worse than any science fiction or horror writer can imagine. I mean, worse because they sensationalise things in Hollywood, sure, but it's going to be worse because this is real life. It's all of our job to inform and inspire the sleeping people of this world. It's sad to say, but that's often how it feels. To gain the courage and the will to get off their knees, shake the chains from their minds and refuse to comply. Refusing to comply is a massive part of it. Our power lies in our unity, so let's get to work. So I feel this. I've been in this state of awareness for years. You know, anyone who knows my story, you can see it on YouTube, you know what I've been through. And I've been into some crazy territory, but I'm not losing my mind. You know, I look up to guys like Dave, who has explored all these crazy ideas, but then he's been able to ground it into reality. And it's kind of then, where do we go from here? And this is exactly the kind of thing that that we're looking for. So I'm going to go and put my details into this mailing list here and see where it goes from here. And I'm very excited to see the Event 202 pandemic response exercise tomorrow evening, or this evening, depending on when I get this video out. So cheers guys, check it out.